Help us retrace the steps a little bit. Help us understand what is this dilly-dally between Maoism, monarchy, and then modernism with, reference to democracy. Nepal has seen 13 prime ministers in 15 years since abolishing monarchy. Does this political musical chairs, do you think it's going to continue, and does it explain why the Generation Z has lost their faith in democracy? And of course, your question to the Gen Z with us on the broadcast.
Well, my question to the Gen Z was that we in India fully sympathize with the fact that there has been so much corruption, endemic corruption, that those who were most in favor of democracy, that's the young people, lost their faith in the system because there was no development, there was no employment. They were all forced to go abroad, earn something, and send some money back to their families to survive. On the other hand, I have witnessed, since I'm much older than you, the manner in which the Romanian dictator, Ceausescu, and his wife were executed 15 minutes after revolution. And I always say that when you put to death in such a horrific manner somebody whom you feel may deserve it, but who has not had a fair chance of a trial, rule of law, etc., because tempers are inflamed, people are angry, people are upset. That lady was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was had petrol poured into her mouth and was put on fire. That actually retards the approach of the world watching all of you. So my suggestion would be that I'm sure that this is not supported by 95% of people in Gen Z, but it is important to bring the situation back under control so that what the UN calls summary and arbitrary execution, I worked for human rights for 6 years, does not happen in a place like Nepal. And the Nepalese people who are known for their gentleness, for their sympathy, etc. And perhaps that's one reason why such unbridled corruption took place for so many years, because people thought that they could fool the people all the time. You can't do that. So, on the other hand, to answer your question, Kabir, I would say it's not a question of running from monarchy to Maoism to democracy. The question is that none of these systems were able to root out endemic corruption and endemic poverty, so that when Nepal developed, which it did very slowly, the fruits of that prosperity did not trickle down to the people of Nepal. So if today we are seeing these horrific signs, it is because the young people of Nepal have given up hope in the system. What is most important is to rebuild a system in which they feel they can participate in nation building together, and where they are of the view that there is hope in their nation. They can all rebuild it, all Nepalese together. And for that, you would need to have, in my perspective, a democratic structure, because only democracy of the people, for the people, by the people, even if it hasn't worked in Nepal so far, because the politicians became very corrupt, but you can have somebody younger, somebody more in tune with young people, a
Right.
young person, maybe one of you, but it should be through a fair election. So my suggestion to all of you is, please first restore rule of law in Nepal so that a poor country doesn't get poorer. No problems will be resolved by burning down the parliament.
Exactly, and things don't get out of hand. You spoke about these young, firebrand leaders that could now take this space, can fill up that vacuum, and we've got two names in the shape of Balen Shah, and the other is Rabi Lamechhane. These are two names that are now doing the rounds across. And Rabi, who's already incarcerated in prison at the Nakhu jail, we're learning that that prison was gherawed, and now he's been released from there.